Next, my general, Venser, Shaper Savant. Today my general is Venser. I chose Venser because he's one of my personal favorite cards. Play him, bounce a spell back to their hand. Play him, bounce something that you don't want to see in the field back to the hand. Honestly, I've played him 3 times in one game, and I think he is the best mono blue general there is. Next, for my basic lands. For my lands, I use mostly basic lands, as you can see. Next, for non-basic, I run Temple the False God. Why? Because this accelerates me into all of my infinite combos. Maze of Ith, nothing like some defense. You know, I've gone to games with no defense and they just don't end well, so I chose Maze of Ith. Another thing, just like Temple, mana ramp. Get this out, turn 1, by turn 2, turn 3 I pull out Venser. Next is Desert Temple. Now I use Desert Temple for Maze of Ith, Temple. Believe me, any EDH deck should have this card. Academy Ruins, just for those artifacts that you just need back. And I do run a lot of artifacts in this deck. Mystifying Maze, another way, gets rid of counters off of creatures. This card is amazing. Vesuva, I Vesuva everything. Island, Temple, Desert Temple, Maze, and Mystifying Maze. Next, for my instants and sorceries. Bribery. You cannot go wrong with Bribery. If their deck is full of fatties, believe me, you will be happy. Trickbind gets rid of annoying Eldrazi combos, like Mind Over Matter, Temple Bell, everything else. And Split Second is a must. Rite of Replication. Let's just say that card is extremely cheater. This with Tidespell Tyrant wins you the game. Gush. What can I say about Gush that hasn't already been said? Draw 2 cards. You always want to draw. Cryptic Command. I can either draw a card, bounce a permanent, counter a spell, pretty much anything I want. Their deck is mine. Wipe Away. Another bounce card. Split Second cannot be countered, cannot be Twincast. All in all, this is one of the best bounce cards. Regular Counterspell. It's the original, come on. Pulse the Grid. I use this with Eldrazi's. Basically, I draw 2 cards, 2 more cards in your hand, I'll discard an Eldrazi, and I'll get this back to my hand. Arcane Denial. Counterspell with draw feature. It has come in useful so many times. When I need to draw that extra card just to get to the mana I need. Rewind sets up for infinite combos. Because it lets me basically counterspell, untap, and then continue with what I'm going to do. Spell Crumple. I like this, just like I like Hinder. Puts your general on the bottom of the deck. Anything else you want to see on the bottom of the deck, but I like Crumple because it goes on the bottom of your deck also, so you always have access to it. Time Spiral. For those times when you need a new hand, to get your combo going, everything. This card is like one of the best cards in the deck. Remand. I like Remand because it's like, sometimes I just need to draw a card. I'm going to counter your spell. Like, I'll counter your general, put it in your hand. Next turn, I'll Time Spiral. Pact of Negation. So many times when you just need that extra free counter spell that you're not running, that you don't have in your hand. Just like a Force of Will. Muddle the Mixture. I like it because it not only counters instant sorceries, but I can transmute into something I need, like regular Counterspell, Remand, Arcane Denial. Misdirection. Love to use when someone's going to like play Congregate, gain a whole bunch of life, all sorts of nasty stuff. Or if they're going to kill my creature, I'm going to kill theirs instead. Force of Will. You can never go wrong with playing Force of Will. For those times when they're like, I'm going to take 2 extra turns. No, you're not. Blue Sun Zenith, I love because it's just extreme draw, and this is my win condition of the deck. One of them. Time Stretch, other win condition. I can't take infinite turns. All this card tells me is I win the game. Twincast, With time stretch, there's really no choice. Next, I'm on my artifact base. Soul Ring, extremely important. If you get the Soul Ring out on turn 1, you will generally win the game. Temple Bell, used with Mind Over Matter and draw. Cage Sun gives me 2 mana, basically for when I tap. Swiftfoot Boots, pay 1. I'm gonna gain, give my Kozilek or Ulamog haste and Shroud. You really can't deal with that. Coalition Relic I love because it's mana ramp, and I just need mana ramp in this deck. Sword of Feast and Famine. Put this in an Artisan Kozilek or a Kozilek. Swing, hit them, on top of my lands, play bad stuff. Guild of Lotus, pretty much same, mana ramp. Mind's Eye, I just love to draw cards in this deck. I draw more than any other deck has ever drawn. Sword of Fire and Ice is pretty much my favorite sword. 2 extra damage, and I get a draw card. I'm all about draw. Journeyer's Kite, it is the best fetch card for non-green decks. Every non-green deck should have a Journeyer's Kite. Since it's Divine Top, it's a staple in EDH Commander. You should always have one. If you don't, then you should probably get one. Gauntlet of Power, same thing as Cage Sun. Makes it so that I can do infinite mana, infinite turns, infinite draw, everything. Extraplanar Lens, same thing, extra mana. Nevinyrose Disc, for when the board gets really bad, sometimes you just need to get rid of everything. Sculpting Steel, I always pretty much Sculpting Steel the Cage Sun, the Lens, the Gauntlet, pretty much everything. For my Planeswalkers, I only use 2. I use Big Jace, the Mind Sculptor, and Memory Depth. I tried it with Jace Butler, and it just did not work as well as these 2. For my creatures, Lorthos the Tidemaker. Pretty much with this, you can lock them down. Lock all their mana, lock the creatures, they can't block, they can't do anything. Vesuvan Doppelganger. I just use this pretty much to clone their good stuff, or I clone my Tidespawn Tyrant. That just wins me the game. Mage of the Future, I always love to look at the top part of my deck and know what's coming up and be able to play it. Stormtide Leviathan. Island Walk. That's pretty much all you need to do is Island Walk. Sphinx, another really good draw card. Draw 2 cards every time they draw a card. If they brainstorm, you draw 6. Which is what I love about that card. Vendilion Clique, I use this to, after I bounce your general back to their hand, you can go ahead and put your general on the bottom of your library. Teferi stops counterspell decks. That's all he's there for. Palinchron, when I have a Cage Sun out, this leaves me to infinite mana. Because I just keep playing it, returning it, playing it, returning it, playing it, returning it, infinite mana. Memnarch, with Palinchron, infinite mana, I take control of everything on the board. Sphinx, pretty much fact or fiction. I like this better because I have a 5/6 beef that's going to come at you next turn. Gargantuan, I use it to clone stuff like their general Oracle Moldiah, so I have a 7/7 Oracle that gives me land. Azami, I run a lot of wizards, and my general is a wizard, so basically I can just play him, tap him, draw a card. The other one, she stops counterspell decks. She just says, I'm going to play this, you can't do anything else, have a nice day. Duplicant, gets rid of annoying Eldrazi. Kozilek, I play him, I draw 4 cards. I have played him one time, 6 different times in one turn. Arcanus, he is the draw engine. This one, I have attacked someone, pay 3, draw a card. I attacked with infinite mana, or I produced 30 mana. He became a 16/16 in one turn. Ulamog, I use him to just basically destroy stuff. That's all I do. This is Sensei. I do is I play him, I bounce one of your creatures back to your hand. And he has horsemanship, so he can't be blocked. Artisan, Basically, if there's a creature in my graveyard, I'm going to cast this, get a creature back, so I have 2 creatures for 1. Sakashima, she's like my favorite clone. I'm going to clone, say your Terracodon, blow up your lands, return to my hand, player, blow up 3 more lands. Phyrexian Metamorph, I pretty much use him to clone my Tidespell Tyrant or my Cage Sun. This is Sun Quan. He should just say cheater. Gives all my stuff horsemanship, you cannot block, have a nice day. Mnemonic Wall, Time Stretch. Do we really need to say anything else? Tidespell Tyrant. I'm going to return all your lands, return all your creatures, return everything to your hand. You are done. Clone with Palinchron. It's a cheap way to do infinite mana. Jin Cataxis. I love to draw cards. And I love it when my opponents can't have any options. Mind Over Matter with Temple Bell. Basically, I'm going to tap the Temple Bell, draw, Mind Over Matter, done tap to draw your decks out. While I discard my Eldrazi's. Future Sight, same thing as Mage of the Future. Just lets me look at the top card of my library and play it. Say I need a counterspell. So top of my library, I counter what you got. And that is my deck. Thanks for watching CMDR decks. Please subscribe.